Hello everybody, today I am testing out the new update for Assassin's Creed Shadows that brought in the ultra low performance for all devices. This is being tested on an M4 Max Max Studio, 40 core GPU, 48 gigs of RAM. I am testing this at 1080p because I've played around a little bit, and I am able to get like a pretty solid 80 FPS. Unfortunately, when I go to 1440p, even with the ultra low settings, it's still kind of struggling to maintain 60. It does get into the 60s, like 65, but when you get into like areas with combat, it might drop into the mid 50s and stuff like that. I'm still waiting to play this game till it is optimized properly for Mac, but I wanted to show you guys with the new settings how it's performing on a M4 Max. I'll show you the ultra low settings and kind of what I'm running on. So again, I'm at 1920 by 1080, which is absolutely awful for the system I'm playing on. No frame rate limiter. I've noticed TAA does a little bit better in terms of performance than using metal effects. It's set to performance, sharpen strength of 25%, no motion blur, and I have diffuse hideout only for global ray tracing, and just the overall preset is ultra low. Then this is like a brand new one that they added to the game with this update a few days ago. So I'll kind of show you, like, I am getting above 60, but again, we're at 1080p, and the graphics are not near as good as when you are able to crank them up. Like, you can see the textures on the ground are pretty crappy. It still looks okay, but for a system that's, you know, as expensive as a Mac Studio, we should be getting better performance, especially at 1080p. Shouldn't need to lower the graphics settings this much. And in a little bit, I'll show you if I bump it up to like the medium graphic preset at 1080, what to expect to, like the difference between this. So this does, thankfully, at least hold above 60 that I've noticed so far in a little bit of playing. As you can see, we're at like in the mid 70s to 80s. But I'll just kind of run around a little bit, do some combat, show you guys what it's like. So yeah, even in combat, still holding close to about 80 range. No frame spikes.
What?
Sometimes it'll get close to the pennies if I'm looking down. Because everyone's playing looking down or at the sky, you know. Like almost hitting 100 at some points. This leads me to believe that there's lots of room for optimization, and I'm hoping with the new Metal 4 that's coming out in the fall with Tahoe, that we'll be able to get those improvements that we need. Combat definitely drops below 50. Alright, so after fighting, I'll ride around on the horse so you guys can see kind of fast-paced. So yeah, still holding around 80, kind of traversing through the map pretty quickly, which is definitely better than what we had. But like I said, price for the price of this system and having to drop the settings this much, it's pretty sad that this is what's needed to get like a really solid 80 above 60 FPS experience. So before I jump in here, I'm gonna go ahead and change the settings a little bit. I'm just gonna do medium so you guys can see if they've done anything to help normal performance other than using that ultra low preset. The game is only using about 12 gigs of RAM, the GPU, and it just doesn't seem like it's being utilized the way it should. So medium settings, 1080p. Remember, we're at performance for upscaling, so you know we're looking at less than 1080p resolution with this. It'll drop all the way down to 25%, maximum of 50%. So this is still not great image quality. The game does look better, obviously, on medium settings. Combat is pretty close to consistent 60, but it will drop occasionally. Kind of frame rate, like the game isn't stuttering. Like if you look at that frame graph going up and down, it's really not stuttering. Like it's really smooth still. But I don't like seeing the chopping stuff. It should just be really smooth. Traversal, medium settings. So it's pretty close to, at medium, there it goes under 60, it's pretty close to maintaining 60 FPS. Again, not close to doing that at 1440p, unfortunately. So it looks like the optimization is getting a little bit better, just not quite there yet. I'll show you guys, I'll try out doing like high settings as well. So we're still at diffuse hideout only. I'll do diffuse everywhere. So high settings with some decent ray tracing. We'll see how much it takes a hit. Yeah, we're back to like under 50. Game still isn't choppy, even though the frame graph looks like it might be. But the game looks much better with these settings. You can actually see the ground textures. Textures on like the brush and trees look a lot better. So I'll show you the difference too. Just turning ray tracing off again. Hideout only. See if that improves performance at all at high settings. It's about like a 5 to 7 FPS difference. Major.
Oh, thank you.
On that one to get the it's probably dropping out of the 90s. This is looking like yeah, this is kind of what you can expect right now. It seems like they're slowly but surely optimizing it a little bit better with each patch, but I think it still has quite a bit of time before it's like really, really playable. I'm hoping that the ultra low settings help systems that aren't the M4 Max, like M1, M2, M3 machines, or M4 Pros, stuff like that. But I hope you guys found this video helpful. Please subscribe if you found it useful or helpful at all. I just really enjoy making these Mac videos. I just wish that companies would take a little more time in terms of optimizing the games for these systems. But yeah, I hope you guys all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you guys. Bye.